Hi everyone, welcome to One Six Figure Focus, and in this video I'm going to outline the no loyalty method for buying hot toys. Let's get started. So firstly, before we get into this video, I just want to take this opportunity to say a massive thank you to anyone who's taken the time to watch any of the videos, like any of the videos, subscribe to the channel, engage in the live streams, invite me on their live streams, follow me on Instagram, or like any of the content I put up on Instagram. It's massively appreciated and it's really helped me grow the channel. I'm very close to 1,000 subs, and that's all because of you, the collecting community. Sincere, massive thank you. So what's this video all about? This video is basically, a few months ago I mentioned, I think it was Lael, the 1/6 scale man's stream, that I have no loyalty to any of these companies. What I mean by companies are these hot toys retailers, basically any company that distributes or sells hot toys. Because at the end of the day, for me, it's all about getting the best value. Now I understand that they're a high quality product, and with that comes a high price tag, 100% agree. However, I recently heard a millionaire describe something. They said just because you have, a lot of money doesn't mean you're going to go into the grocery store and spend $20 on a loaf of bread. That doesn't make sense. You pay what you think it's worth, and if you can get a deal for what's better than it's worth, it's a no-brainer to take it. So if you have a fantastic die-cast Iron Man and it's retailing for $400 and you can get it for $350 or $350 or cheaper, why wouldn't you? So these 7 tips that I outline, I've kind of dubbed it the no loyalty method, just a bit of tongue in cheek, is because I shop around to find the best deal. Now a lot of these tips, they're no-brainers. They're fairly simple things that I'm sure the vast majority are doing already, but maybe there's things that I'm doing that you'll notice going, okay, I didn't factor it in, and maybe I'll consider that. This is just what works for me. It's not going to work for everyone because everyone's situation is different. Everyone's financial situation is different. Everyone's collecting habits are different. Everyone's geography is different. Their wage and all that kind of stuff. There's too many different factors, whether you have kids or not, if you're retired, if you're in high school, if you're in college, everyone's situation is completely different. So these are just some of the things I do, 7 tips that I do to try and get the best value deal for the products that I want. So we're going to start into them. I've got some notes on my phone, and we're going to start off with these different tips. So the first one is very obvious. This is number 1, shop around. I know that might seem like a no-brainer, but I'm just going to talk about that a little bit more detail. Like, what do I actually mean by shopping around? Obviously, you have your Sideshow, and then you have your US-based retailers where Sideshow would provide them their figures, same as in Europe. And then you have the Hong Kong-based reseller, and then you have your eBay and your buy-sell trade groups. There's loads of different. There's never been as many possible routes to get hot toys. This is basically, we're kind of spoiled for choice in a way. So what I do is I literally pick every single one of them. Sideshow, Toys Wonderland, Lion Rock Toys, Toys Buying Agent, Spec Fiction, Pop Collectibles, Pop Culture, just basically all. And I have them all as bookmarks on my laptop. So if I want a product, I just click into them and I just go in and I look and I cross compare. Let's say you're looking for the DX19, and I will literally go into all those tabs and I will jot down all the prices that all the different distributors or retailers or Hong Kong resellers are offering. So then I know, right, that's the best price I can get for that at that current time on that day. So that's the first thing I'll do. I'll shop around and I'll use bookmarks. It's so handy because it's already there. Or even be more specific, if you have your eye on a specific piece, maybe it's a Mark 47 or something like that. Go into that particular retailer's website, go to the Mark 47 if it's in stock, and just bookmark that specific page, and do that for all of them. And then it's easy just to quick reference, if it's still in stock, what the price going, if there's any sale going stuff. So that's number 1, shop around, cross compare, use your bookmarks. Tip number 2, factor in shipping costs. And this is going to be different for everyone. You see on the live streams there's people from all over the world. There's people from Ireland, England, and the Netherlands. There's people from Canada. There's people from the US. I've been in streams with people from New Zealand. I've been in streams with people from Australia. Literally, this is it's a niche hobby, but it is global. People all over the world like pop culture, films, comic books, science fiction, collecting. Like it's basically it's a great thing to combine people, but with that comes your own geography and your own shipping costs. So obviously if I'm in Ireland and I'm ordering something from the States, the shipping costs are going to be higher for me than they would be for someone in the States. Like I recently heard someone complain that they're well, it was actually not complain, it was a solid point, that they live very, very close to Sideshow, but still it's $20 to get a standard 1/6 scale figure shipped. For me, to get a standard 1/6 scale figure, it costs about $50. So if you take the, the Snow Speeder Luke there, standard 6 scale figure, cost me $50 to get it shipped. And that's before I even factor in import charges. So my second tip is shipping costs. Now you have to use these tips combined. You can't look at them isolated. What I mean by that is, in tip 1 about looking at the product, who has the products for the cheapest, the retailer that sells you the products for the cheapest mightn't necessarily have the shipping costs. And yes, I'm going to go to the obvious example. A few weeks back, Toys Wonderland had a fire sale in the middle of the summer for troopers where they were offering some troopers down as low as $100. However, their shipping costs were nearly $100. So they might, actually there's no might, they were definitely offering those troopers the cheapest. However, their shipping cost was by no means the cheapest at all. So you have to use tip 2 and tip 1 in tandem, because the retailer that offers the cheapest figure may not necessarily offer the cheapest shipping. So that's tip 2, factor in your shipping costs based on where you are in the world. Tip number 3 is factor in your taxes, whether that's sales tax or import tax. Me, being in Ireland, every time I order something from outside the EU that's worth over €100, and bear in mind that is the price of the item plus the shipping I pay because it's goods and services, it's approximately 30% I have to add on that on top. Again, I'm going to stick with my example. Snow Speeder Luke was about, I think the figures, it's like 260 or something like that. Can't remember the exact price. It's in around that. It cost me $50 to get it to Ireland for shipping. And then I got smacked on with a €90 import charge. That's about $90 because the dollar and the euro are nearly neck and neck at the moment. So depending on where you are, make sure that you know your rules, your government and your countries and governments' rules and laws for importing things from other companies, and will you have to pay import charges, or sometimes they're called customs duty. And again, you have to use tip 1, 2 and 3 in tandem together. You can't look at them isolated, because a lot of the time I know companies that will ship me the item and they will mark the value down so I don't end up paying customs. However, their prices won't compete with other companies, so I still have to go to the other companies, for example T-Dubs, something like that, and I'll end up paying customs. But because they're dropping the price down so low of the item, even with their silly shipping costs, I still do better. So factor in the price of the item, the cost of shipping, and finally any taxes or customs in. You have to use those 3 in conjunction with each other. Tip number 4 is sign up coupons. A lot of these retailers and websites, when you sign up for their newsletter or make an account with them, you end up getting like a deposit. It could be like, I don't know, $5, $10, $25, something like that, or a percentage off coupon. When you're buying a figure, if you've already factored in the price of the figure, the price of the shipping, any taxes or customs duty that you're going to actually have to pay in the end, these little coupons could actually tip the scales. And fine, you might only save $5, $10, $15, but still, that's still $5, $10, $15. So like, why would you be frivolous with money? Like, I'm by no means a millionaire, but I also have a good salary. But at the same time, I'm not going to throw money away. If I can get the exact same price, the exact same figure for the exact same price, why wouldn't I just go with the cheaper one with the coupon? Because, again, it comes back to knowing the value of money. I think it'd be foolish to waste money if you can get something a bit cheaper. Tip number 5 is the loyalty programs. A lot of companies offer loyalty schemes and loyalty programs. I suppose the obvious one is Sideshow. Every time you purchase a figure with them, you get loyalty points, these bonus points, and then they get added to your account, and you can check your account, and then 40 days after your item is shipped, those points that you've earned for that particular figure, that particular item, they get added to your account on Sideshow, and then you can apply them, basically spend them like money to reduce the costs of your future purchase, and it kind of keeps you back in. I know multiple other companies doing that. I think Toys Wonderland did it as well. No, they definitely did it as well. Every time you spend with them, you get these points and they build up, and you can either convert them to a coupon or just add them to your next purchase. So those things keep you back as well. So it's worth, like, again, all of these rules, they kind of, not rules, tips, they kind of have to be not treated in isolation but combined, because when you add them all together you can kind of work out who's actually the cheapest, who's actually offering that particular product for the cheapest. So that's tip number 5, that's loyalty program points. Tip number 6 is such an obvious one. Sales, whether it's the January sales, whether it's July 1st, Thanksgiving, Black Friday, summer sales. Sales are on the whole time, you know, there's nearly every month in the year has some reason for sales. That's just consumerism. But keep an eye on something. If you know that there's one of those big holidays coming up, let's say it's the day after Christmas, Stephen's Day or Boxing Day, or you're coming up on Black Friday, or maybe January sales, whatever it is. If you have something, you know, if you have your eye on something, it might worth your while holding out till that day comes and seeing if, like, maybe the store is offering like a 10% world or store-wide discount, or if it's offering, I don't know, something like, you know, just drop downs on certain figures. You combine them with the other things that I've already mentioned in this video, and you might be able to get yourself a nice deal. Now the final tip number 7, it's really a personal preference thing, and it's basically avoid the day one prices. Obviously, Sideshow tend to be a little bit behind Hong Kong. Hot Toys obviously being a Hong Kong based company, so as soon as it gets released in Hong Kong, like, those things then have to ship to Sideshow. So Sideshow usually get things a few months later. Now they are getting faster, definitely, but like, think about if you've ordered something from a, let's say, a comic book store in America, and that comic book store gets supplied from Sideshow, and Sideshow are getting their things a bit later. That kind of factors into the delays, because I know people like who've ordered their Ahsoka 2 years ago are only getting them now. Remember what happened during Endgame Cap? And I know what was going on, like, in the world was different, like, you know, for the last 2 years, and is now we're kind of coming out of that now. But you still have to factor those things in. So that tip there is basically, this one, I would avoid day one prices personally. Again, this works for me. It mightn't work for you. Maybe there's a particular piece that you really like and it resonates with you a lot, and you want it quick and you want it now, or you want to unbox it and you review it and you just can't wait. And sometime in the future that may happen to me as well. However, my logic is that, right, I've waited 18 months for this already, maybe even to 2 years. If I wait another month or two, I can get it cheaper. So personally, I avoid the day one or first batch, and I go for the second batch. So let's say you're ordering on Toys Buying Agent, for example. There's usually like a first batch price, which is more expensive than a second batch price, and the second batch price usually ships within like a few months of the first. It depends on the figure, depends on the time, but usually a few months after the first. So I personally go for second batch or later batches, and I just wait and I save a few dollars as well, because I'm like, okay, what's another month or two? But you know, I can completely understand if that doesn't suit you, because again, these are my like 7 tips. This is my no loyalty method for buying Hot Toys. It works for me, it mightn't work for you. Hopefully you get some value. If you are getting some value out of this video, hit the like and subscribe button. And the final tip, it's kind of a bonus tip, is just simply patience. I think collectors in general, I think the vast majority of us are pretty patient people, because if you ever try to actually explain the concept of pre-orders to non-collectors, you know, put a deposit on something or pay something off, and then you wait a year to 18 months to 2 years to get something, like, so you've actually put your money down. Some people I know, like, pre-orders are basically, a lot of people are not really doing it as much. A lot of people are not dopoing. Please don't let the t-shirt fool you. I rarely dopo anything. I can't remember the last time I've day one pre-ordered anything. And even the pre-orders are slowing down because I'm being a bit more strategic. So my thing is patience. So whether that's patience for the second batch, or maybe that's patience not dopoing, not pre-ordering, and waiting until a lot of Hong Kong resellers are cutting prices down. And it's not just them. Sideshow are significantly reducing some things. I don't think you're going to get the same value off Sideshow personally you are with these Hong Kong resellers. But I'm seeing this trend of like prices just being dropped down. We've all seen it. So my last tip is just have that bit of patience. I don't think you're gonna miss out on a lot of pieces. I know that there's exclusives and stuff like that, and sometimes they sell out faster, but in general, for your regular figures, just kind of hold out. Maybe go for that second batch, would be cheaper, or wait until those sales, and they actually, a lot of these figures, fantastic figures, are still getting bargain binned. Anyway, just want to finish up this video by saying, this is just what I do. Everyone's situation is different. Everyone's financial situation, geographical location, collecting habits, they're all different. But maybe you've got some sort of value out of it, maybe you haven't. So if you want to support the channel, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Do you have any tips that you do that work for you to get the best value? Or maybe if there's any point that you disagree with me, and that's perfectly okay once it's done in a respectful manner. You can also follow me on Instagram and follow me on Twitter. That's the end of the video. See you in the next one. Good luck.